Welcome back, everyone. Brett Canada here, JuiceFeaster on all of the social media platforms, and I'm on a mission to cleanse, regenerate, and transform 1 million people with the magical powers of juicing. In today's video, I'm going to give you 5 of my top tips for using the Pure Juicer to enhance the user experience on the Pure Juicer. Now, if you've been watching me or my videos over the last year and a half, you know how much I enjoy using the Pure Juicer. There are lots of great juicers out there, several that I recommend in various price points, and depending upon what your priorities are, there are lots of other great juicers out there other than the Pure Juicer. That said, if you're looking for the best enzyme extraction, the best nutrient extraction, and the best juice yield of any juicer in the home juicer or small commercial juicer category, the Pure Juicer wins hands down. It's all stainless steel. It's got an incredible warranty for it. It's virtually indestructible in my opinion, and it best nutrient extraction, best enzyme extraction, and the highest percentage of juice yield of any juicer that I've ever used. And in many cases, 20 to 50% juice yield more than others of my other top juicers, okay? So I can't say enough good things about the Pure Juicer. If you're not familiar with the Pure Juicer, check out the link below in my description box and you can learn more about it. And if you're currently a Pure Juicer, here we go. I'm going to give you my top 5 tips for using the Pure Juicer. The first tip that I like to talk about is using a press cloth liner when juicing soft fruits. You are, I'm sure, familiar with the standard press cloth. This is what we wrap the pulp up with after we run the produce through the grinder side of the machine before we put it on the press side of the machine. Once again, this is a 2-stage cold press juicer. So the first stage is grinding the produce. Second stage is pressing the produce. So with most produce items, you do not need a press cloth liner. But for most of the soft items like grapes or citrus, cucumbers, any of the really watery fruits or high water content fruits like berries, I think it's a great advantage to use a press cloth. So what I'm going to do for you is show you how to use a press cloth on some grapefruits. So I'm going to peel a couple of grapefruits here with the Orange Peeler Pro from Pelamatic. This is another great accessory to have for the Pure Juicer. It allows you, if you're juicing a lot of citrus, to speed up the time it takes to peel the citrus before you put it on the Pure Juicer. So let's peel the grapefruit. This thing is super slick. It can do 1 pass or 2 passes. I generally like to do just 1 pass to leave a little bit of the pulp on there, but see how fast that was? Love this thing. Gives you basically almost all of the peel removed. If you want all of the peel removed, you can take a knife and chop that off the end. I like to leave a little bit so you can get the essential oils from the citrus as well. Let's do the second one here. There we go. I'll put a link in the description box below for the Orange Peeler Pro. Super cool tool. All right, so after we've got our citrus, get the peeler out of the way here. After we have our citrus peeled, the peel, by the way, is great to dry and use in potpourri or essential oil type applications. Super aromatic. It's really cool to use this for whatever, or you can compost it, kind of up to you what you do with the peel. But after we peel our citrus, typically on most produce items, you would just put your produce on the cloth, fold it up in a tic-tac-toe fashion, and put it on the press. I'm going to use one without using the press cloth. That way you can see what it looks like. That's centered. See what it looks like on the press cloth after pressing, and why we would want to use a press cloth. So it's a 2.5 ton press on the press side, which virtually squeezes all the juice out of your produce. Super cool. So what we like to do is let all the juice run out until this stream of juice breaks or goes from a stream into drips. And so there, we're finished. And we'll open that up here in a second. Now we're going to do a section using a press cloth. So the way we do this, we take the press cloth and put it, the press cloth liner, and put it inside the press cloth, like so. Then put our produce in the center. We fold up the liner just like we would the cloth. Flip that over, tic-tac-toe fashion. Put this guy on there. We go full speed until we just start to press, and we back it off to half speed. Nice and easy press. Wait till most of the juice comes out. Turn it up full speed. So we're going to take a look to see what the difference is using a liner and not using a liner. So we'll wait on the stream to break here. All right, we'll take a look to see how this looks comparatively. So the first one here is pressing without a liner, and as you can see, there's a lot that sticks to the liner. This actually did pretty well, but a lot of the soft fruits leave a ton of stuff stuck to the liner, which is hard to get off. But here you can see it came off nice and easy. And the cool thing about the press cloth liners, these are completely compostable. You can throw them right in your compost pile and they break down just like any produce item would. So you can see the difference here. If I can hold them up, the difference in what's left on the cloth to clean off. Here's without a liner and here's with a liner. All this has to be cleaned off eventually when you're done when you're done pressing. So this makes it a lot harder when you don't use a press cloth liner for things like citrus or other soft fruits. So that's my first tip. The second tip we actually covered as we were pressing the citrus. When we are pressing produce item, it's very important to lift your press full speed until the produce just starts to press. Then you back it off to half speed. And I'll pull this around here so you can see it a little better. So when we get ready to press, we put our produce on the tray, turn it up to full speed until we just get to the point to where the produce is starting to press. We back it off to whole speed or to half speed, let it go up till it starts to press, and then go full speed. So by doing this, we're able to let the bulk of the juice come out first, slowly, and that way we avoid any splattering or spraying of juice out through the press cloth. It's a more gentle press until most of the juice is out. Then you can turn it up full speed and press it so that it presses it out nice and completely. All right, moving on to tip number 3. Tip number 3 involves greens. All right. The Pure Juicer does amazing with greens. Certainly the best yield extraction of any of the juicers out there for greens. But one trick that I like to use for greens is before putting them into the chute, kind of bend them over double. All right. This allows it to fit into the tube a little bit better. It allows you to get a better grind and a push into the grinder. So we're going to bend that over, stick it in there, and take our grinder, grind it through there. Same thing, bend it over double, pop that in there. Super fast. Bend it over double. Really helps the greens go through when you bend it over like that. We're going to make a unique juice combination with grapefruit, greens, and maybe even some ginger. All right, so that's tip number 3, is bending over your greens double. The next tip is tip number 4, which is to clean out this grid, okay? And the best way to do that, you don't have to turn the juicer off, but for sound's sake, I'm going to do that so you can hear me a little better. Basically, we take this grid, which is what helps to grind up the produce after the grinder itself, and you'll see that there is some produce from the greens on that grid. So we take the grid off and use its base to scrape that off. Get that all off of there. And then we use a metal chopstick. So this is the key tip here, is to use a metal chopstick to clean out that grid tray. You can see there's produce, greens that get caught back in there, and we want to make sure we're pressing all that in our press claws. So by using this chopstick, we can get all that out. And the starter kit that Pure Juicer sells, and in some cases comes with the Pure Juicer for new purchases, the metal chopstick comes with it. But if you don't have the starter kit, you can find metal chopsticks at any ethnic grocery store, like an Asian grocery store or Indian grocery store. Sometimes we'll have them, but most of the time Asian grocery store. So that is tip number 4, is to clean that grid tray off and use a metal chopstick. See, that allows you to push that grid back in there. Now let's talk about grid sizes a little bit. For very fibrous materials like the greens and celery and ginger and turmeric and things like that, parsley, herbs, cilantro, kale, which is what we just ground up here, I like to use the largest size grid. This is a number 12 grid. The all-purpose grid is the number 10 grid. As you can see, there are just more holes there, smaller holes I should say, and there are larger holes on the 12. So all-purpose, but definitely using the largest one for greens and fibrous things. If you're interested in making nice cream and smoothies, I like to use the number 4 grid. As you can see, definitely a smaller hole opening sizes there, which makes a nice, really smooth smoothie bowl or nice cream bowl with banana or pineapple, papaya. Really cool to do that with those different grid sizes. Now, talking about grid sizes, that leads me to item number 5, tip number 5, and that is to not use any grid at all. So we're not going to use a grid on anything like ginger or turmeric, and basically what that allows us to do is to run really fibrous stuff like ginger through very easily without any clogging of that grid. So even if we were using the largest grid size, we would definitely get some fibrous buildup on this, and it would make it a little more difficult to grind. It still works, but by not using a grid at all and just putting the tray in so nothing shoots out the front, you can grind up ginger super quickly and press it and make your juice that much faster. So let's do that. We're gonna run some ginger through, and then we're gonna press this kale and ginger and grapefruit. That'll be a crazy shot to try. All right, so we're gonna take our ginger, pop some of that off there. We're gonna run it straight through without any grid, and as you can see, came through very nicely. That will press super easily, and that went through way easier than it would have been if we used a grid. So pop some more in. Super fast. Lots of ginger here. We're going to make cool ginger shots here. All right. Now we got all our ground up produce here. We've got kale and ginger, and we're going to press that in with some grapefruit here. Clean off my table a little bit. All right. Now, we're not going to use a press cloth liner. In this case, we're just going to put the pulp directly onto the press cloth itself. So we're going to put 1.5 cups of pulp onto the liner, or onto the press cloth, like so. Fold that up. One of the other really cool things I like about the Pure Juicer is by using these press cloths and the press itself, we get a virtually pulp-free juice. A lot of juicers, almost all the other juicers out there on the market, leave some amount of pulp in the juice. And for me, whether I'm on a juice feast, solid food vacation, or just juicing for enjoyment, I like to remove as much pulp as possible. That way it eases up on the metabolic stress, it's more easily absorbed, and really you get all the benefits of the juice in a very easily absorbable, very digestible format, okay? So we're just gonna go ahead and put all this pulp on there. This is gonna be a cool shot here. Actually, it's going to be a little spicy. Got 2 cloths here. And back to one of my earlier tips, we're going to turn up our press full speed until we just start to press. And then we're going to back it off to half speed until we get the majority of the juice to come out. Look at that. Up to full speed. There it goes. This is where the 2.5 ton press really does its work. You can let this go for a while. The motor is super strong. Previous models that were like the Pure Juicer, they had a time limit, and the Pure Juicer does not have that. So you can rest assured that this press will do what it needs to do without shutting it off. We're going to wait on the juice stream to break. Still coming out there. This is going to be a potent shot. Grapefruit, kale, and ginger. Should probably get a little juice jar here to see what it tastes like. We'll also open up one of the press cloths to see what the press cake looks like. And a lot of people ask what you can do with the pulp after making the juice. For something like this with ginger and kale and grapefruit, I would more than likely compost it. But for other things like, carrot, apple, ginger, or other vegetable juices, it's really cool to make a veggie juice pulp cracker. So you take 4 cups of pulp, 1/4 cup of chia seeds. You can add in whatever spices you might like, be it Mexican or Italian or Indian spices. Add a little bit of water to get it into a spreadable mixture format. Then spread it 1/4 inch thick on a dehydrator tray. Stick it in the dehydrator tray overnight for like 8 to 10 hours. Then flip it, do it for a couple more hours, and you've got the most amazing juice pulp crackers for your favorite raw dips, dressings, and toppings. All right, so we're done pressing here. Shut off the juicer. That's the juice. So first thing we'll do is take a look at what the pressed out pulp looks like. So here you can see we didn't use a liner, and there's really not much pulp on the press cloth itself. which is cool. And look how dry this pulp is. It's essentially just a bone dry pulp. There's literally no juice left in this whatsoever. So definitely one of the main advantages of the Pure Juicer is getting all of the juice out. Now let's take a look at this juice. We're going to give it a little mix. Pour it into our glass. This is going to be very potent, so I'm probably not going to take too much. So I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment box below. Let me know what your experience has been with the Pure Juicer. If it's a juicer on your radar that you're looking to purchase, if you already have one, let me know what you like about it, what you dislike about it. What are your favorite things to juice on the Pure Juicer? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I hope that you can use these tips and tricks to enhance the user experience on the Pure Juicer. So until we speak again, I encourage you to make lots of juice, drink it all, and stay juicy. Cheers, my friends. Whoa, that is spicy. Cheers.